high hopes he had high.
Welcome to Nall or Nuthin. It is Thursday here in the South, and that means it is time to start the weekend. The weekend starts on Thursdays with Nall or Nuthin. We're going to talk a little bit today about the college football landscape and about the NFL Week 9 games. This weekend, something happened for the first time in Tennessee. Legalized sports gambling kicked off on November 1st, Sunday, November 1st. Gamblers in Tennessee were able to place their first wagers legally in the state's history. Now, the law had been passed for years and years, almost seems like a decade, but 2 years. But now, finally, we went into action, and bettors were able to place bets this weekend. BetMGM, FanDuel, and DraftKings all have online account availability for bettors in the state of Tennessee. Now, there are no physical locations, just the online system. So you can open your account online, deposit your money. Most of them are running promotions right now. Deposit your money and you'll be off and running. I actually did that this weekend, made a play on BetMGM. I was lucky enough to cash my play, and I just wanted to see how the system works. So I cashed out. I cashed out the money that I put in, and I was able to get that back through PayPal. Everything seems to be working smoothly. So we're off and running with sports betting in Tennessee. We're going to bring in our special guest today from the western side of Tennessee. This is Big Daddy. Big Daddy, how you doing today, man?
Hello, Jason. How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm all right. So you taking advantage of this being able to bet from the headquarters there, or are you still driving down to the casino in Tunica and placing your bets?
No, this is really a terrific thing for where I live because, the people in Memphis, that's what they would do. They would drive to Mississippi an hour away or drive across the bridge into Arkansas. But now you just sit at home. It's probably really going to help the state of Tennessee with the revenue they get from the taxes on it, and it's probably going to be a good thing.
I would agree. And, we both kind of talked the other day about the app maybe not being as good as we hoped it would be, but I'm sure everything's going to get better and evolve as it goes on. But I can tell you at least the payout system works. I wanted to check that out and see how long it took. It took me 2 days to get my payout, which is it didn't take that long to get the money put in, but they did give me my money back.
Well, that's an important thing. If you're getting your money back, that's a key factor. And, we both use the same site. And as you said, there's 2 other sites out there which might have a little different setup. We both kind of thought the one we used was kind of hard to navigate, but the other 2 maybe are better. Maybe I'll check into them and see what they look like.
Maybe better. The main reason that I wanted to use that BetMGM is because you can earn points and toward hotels in Vegas and things like that. And I still want to go to the Mecca every once in a while. When was the last time you went to Vegas?
Whew, I can't even remember. It's got to be back in the 90s sometimes. It's been a long time. It's been too long. I wouldn't even recognize it.
Well, we need to get an excursion out there pretty quickly and get back to the Mecca. Maybe play some golf, have some good food. The Circa down in downtown Las Vegas just opened up a brand new casino, the first new development down there in downtown Vegas since the 70s, and it's the largest sports book in the world. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't, but I'm glad you told me about that because that's my spot. I like the downtown area. I like to walk from one to another. I like them close and compact. I like to go here for an hour and there. You go uptown and they're blocks and blocks away. You got to take a taxi or this and that. I like them real close together. I like to be able to, shake it up and go try to change my luck somewhere else. So that's a good idea. We'll try downtown. That's my favorite spot.
I agree with you. That Fremont Street just has a better feel to it to me, and so just the fact that we've got the world's largest sports book, and they've got a pool, and I haven't seen it. I'm going by what I've heard, but they've got a outdoor pool with over 30 large screen TVs and 4 bars inside of it, so you can actually hang out in the pool and watch all the sports action. That sounds pretty cool too.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. It would probably have to be baseball or the beginning of football season, but wow, yeah, that would be nice.
That's right. So, but for now, let's talk about what we've got here in Tennessee, and this is being able to play through these apps, which is the best we've ever had. In fact, the only thing we've ever had in Tennessee. So, I'm excited about the legal avenue that's available now to players in the state of Tennessee. So let's jump right in and talk a little bit about this weekend's football card. The Pac-12 has decided to play football after all. Last week we had 2 weeks ago we had the Big Ten join the party, and now the Pac-12 is jumping right in. Here's an odd one for you. Arizona State at number 20 USC, a 12 o'clock Eastern kickoff. That is 8 o'clock on the West Coast, 8 a.m. What in the world are they thinking with that?
Wow, I don't know. I didn't realize that was that early, but maybe they're just trying to pack them all in and get them all in on the TV. I don't really know.
I don't know either. It's an interesting deal. Most people in Vegas and Los Angeles as well, they're not thinking about football at 8 a.m., but we've got the biggest matchup of the day at 8 a.m. And so Herm Edwards and Arizona State, they've got a good defense for sure, and I like their quarterback. USC, they've been a hit or miss really since the early 2000s. Let me pull up the numbers here and see what we got in that game.
I think USC is probably about 10.
USC 10. Well, I can't find it yet. I'm going to go with your word until proven wrong. It's USC 10. You got an opinion on that one?
Well, I was looking over at the odds to win the conference, and I just saw that USC was a favorite. So I would probably just take them and lay the 10, just being that Vegas put them as a favorite to win the conference. So that would be my theory there, and that's who I'd go with.
Yeah, here you go. I've got it up now. Again, I was looking in the wrong spot. I was looking down at the bottom of the card for the Pac-10. I forgot. It's a 12 o'clock Eastern kick. So, yeah, USC 10.5 points, over under 58. USC, every game you're kind of wondering, is Helton, is he going to lose to somebody he shouldn't lose to and get fired? He's been on the edge now for 2 seasons. I'm going to go with you. I like USC. Let's take the favorite in the conference to take care of the Fighting Herms and get that one going. Another big Pac-12 matchup later on in the day is Stanford at Oregon that evening at 7:30 Eastern. Oregon comes in number 12. Stanford coming off the first season in the last decade that Stanford finished under 500. Who you like in that matchup?
I would probably take Oregon, I think.
Oregon also laying 10, total 51, which is a little bit low for an Oregon game.
Yeah. Yeah, they're usually definitely in the 60s.
Definitely in the 60s. You know what? I'm going to say Oregon needs to prove me wrong that they're going to play a defensive game, and I'm going to take the over there, over 51. It's no real reason other than let's see if Oregon's not an under team. If they are this year, I'll learn the hard way. Back to the Pac-12. Let's talk about one more game. We got Washington at Cal. That's the late night soiree at 10:30. Washington, Peterson stepped down last year, and they've got a new head coach. Always a strong defensive team. Cal also ranked for the first, not ranked this year, but the first time not to be in the preseason rankings the last 5 years. Cal is a 1.5 point favorite at home, and the over-under is 43, so defense seems to be the theme here as well. Any opinion on that one?
Well, I think I'm going to take Washington simply on the basis the new coach theory. Usually when teams get a new coach, for a few games, they'll really put it out there and try hard. So I'm going to go with Washington with a big effort for the new coach.
I agree, and that looks like it might be teaser ready with that Washington being a small road dog. Uh, Tease that thing up through the key numbers of 3 and 7 and get Washington's plus 7.5. I kind of like that. What do you think about that one?
I like that too. I think that probably could work.
We are going to take our first break here. You are listening to Nall or Nuthin. We're carried by 101.3 The Buzz in Cleveland, Tennessee, and then we're also broadcasting live on our YouTube channel, Nall or Nothing. So check us out on YouTube and 101.3 The Buzz. Nall or Nothing is brought to you by Cleveland Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. We'll take a quick break. Welcome back to Nall or Nothing. Segment 2, we're going to jump into the SEC, but before we do that, let's talk about Pure Bath Body and Mind. Shave like your granddad. Pure features Long Rifle Soap Company shaving and beard products formulated with botanicals like aloe and extracts of seaweed, buckthorn, chamomile, and calendula. You'll love the conditioning feel and the long-lasting scent. Classic scents like Brown Bess, cherry tobacco pipe smoke blended with a hint of leather, and Long Rifle's award-winning 1776 with a slight menthol of cigar leaf and woody notes of mahogany and cedarwood. Let me tell you, this Long Rifle Soap Company will take your mornings from good to awesome. Pure is located at 4460 Keith Street Northwest in Cleveland, Tennessee, right next to Cleveland Nutrition and just across from Walmart. You can also visit Pure 24/7, 365 at pureisgood.com. That's pureisgood.com.
You must be using that on your beard because you're sure looking sharp there. I ain't seen you in a while. I ain't seen you with the beard.
Let me tell you, the Pure Brown Bess. All right, Brown Bess is the real deal.
Y'all sell anything up?
I've been using the Brown Bess now for about a year. You know, and I got it going pretty good.
You got a nice beard. It looks good on you. But maybe you need to get a little dye and kind of take a little of that gray away.
Oh, get rid of that brown spot right there and make it all gray? Yeah, you're
just all gray, you think? Or I was thinking maybe putting a little brown and get rid of the gray.
You know, I have to cover my whole face. You see, on the side, I'm gray too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it kind of gives you a good little change up there because you got a little gray going on the side, so it kind of evens out.
A little salt and pepper. You know, people might listen to me, might think I'm sage, that I have wisdom when talking about these games. You know, I mean.
Yeah, it does give you kind of a wisdom look. The kind of gray kind of make you look a little older, a little more seasoned.
Yeah, I'm definitely older and seasoned. That's for darn sure. So, Big Daddy C and I go way back, and we started out playing those Greyhounds over in West Memphis, Arkansas. And we've been talking about football games and basketball games and baseball games for way more than 20 years. What's your biggest win that you can remember, Big Daddy, when it came to sports gambling?
Well, I can remember we were living down in Oxford, Mississippi, and I was stuck in the hole for a pretty good bit, and I hit every game on a Sunday, didn't miss a game, and got out of the hole. And I was so happy I swore it off for a year or two at least.
I remember you digging out. You dug out. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers were involved somehow, and it became a real good versus evil matchup.
It sure was. It was Pittsburgh was one of them, the Raiders, and maybe Baltimore. And I picked a few other teams, and I round-robin them and loaded up on them and parlayed them and teased them and didn't miss nothing. Best day of my life.
You just went right to the whip. That's what Big Daddy C does. When Big Daddy C gets in the hole, he doesn't just run and hide, man. He just comes fighting out, punching his way out. But we're going to try not to get you in the hole here. So we're going to go to the SEC schedule this week and cover some of these SEC games, and hopefully you won't be in the hole and having to punch out on Sunday morning like Big Daddy did. Florida and Georgia is kind of the highlight of the schedule this week. Florida Georgia. Well, it's actually in Jacksonville. The world's largest cocktail party won't be quite as large due to COVID, but that's a big game still, nonetheless. A couple of good defenses, one great defense in Georgia. Georgia's 3.5, the over/under 52.5. What do you think there, Big Daddy?
Well, I'm kind of a Georgia fan. I do like that Dan Mullins down in Florida, but I think I'm going to have to go with Georgia. I think they're going to hold the ball and run and just pound in on them, and I think the defense is going to shut them down. So I'm going to go with Georgia minus the 3.5.
He's on the record with Georgia minus the 3.5. Mississippi State at home hosting Vanderbilt. So Mississippi State, what a crazy early first half or first 2/3 of the season it's been for them. They look like world beaters against LSU. Well, at the time, we thought LSU was still had something, and then they can't score. They've scored maybe they can't get 14 points in the game. But here
Well,
they are late 19.
Well, I can tell you, Mississippi State in the last 4 games has scored a total of 30 points. That is 7.5 points per game. I do not see how they beat Vandy by 18. I've been trying to ride State after that big win, and I've lost, and I'm probably going to be caught in the trap and get on the wrong side at the wrong time. But I don't see how Mississippi State beats anybody by 18. I don't know what happened in that first game with LSU. It was just a fluke, or they didn't expect, LSU wasn't expecting what hit them. But I call this the battle for the worst in the SEC. Is it going to be Vandy or Mississippi State for the worst in the SEC?
So you like the points and Vanderbilt.
I'm taking Vandy.
What about the total, 46?
Well, that's low, but how can you – neither one of these teams score very much, and Vandy only had 14 against Ole Miss. I mean, I would think you got to ride with the under, but these are the kind that sneak up and get you. You know, everybody thinks one way, and boom, they have a big one. But I would take the under and Vandy as my play in that one.
Okay. All right, I'll live with that. One more SEC game, and then we'll talk about the big ACC clash here. But Tennessee goes to Arkansas. Tennessee coming off a bye week. Arkansas coming off a road loss at Texas A&M. Arkansas 5-0 against the spread this year. However, even though their record is 2-3 win-loss, they're 5-0 against the spread. Tennessee started out hot, and then they really just got manhandled in the second half by Georgia. Terrible quarterback play for Tennessee. Then the terrible quarterback play continued into the Kentucky game and to the Alabama game, and they've just taken 3 big losses, just almost humiliating defeats. They go to Arkansas as a 1.5-point favorite on the road. What do you think there? Do the New Look Hogs go 6-0 against the spread, or does Tennessee take care of business and get a win on the road?
Well, I remember at the beginning of the year, the Hogs are your team if the people out there don't know. And I remember you telling me how bad the Hogs were going to be this year. You told me they wouldn't win a game.
Well,
and here it is. They've already won 2 big games and are playing pretty decent. It's a tough one, I think. I'm going to go with Tennessee wins the game, but they don't cover.
Tennessee wins.
Did you say it was 1.5?
How are you going to do that? So you think Tennessee's going to win by 1?
Well, I had the line at 5. Where'd you get 1.5?
1.5. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh.
It's 1.5.
Okay, well, let me change it. Let me change that then.
So now
I'm going to go with Tennessee.
If they're going to win the game, they're going to cover.
You're right. I have the line down as 5, but I must have miswrote that down. So I'm going to go with Tennessee wins.
Okay, I agree with you. Now Arkansas, right? I didn't think they would be very good. Third coach in 2 years. COVID, no time to really get the new offenses installed. But defensive coordinator Odom, offensive coordinator Browse have both come in and done a good job, especially on the defensive side. But actually, both assistant coaches have done well, and Arkansas has been much more competitive early on than I thought they would be. Next game. We're talking about Clemson at Notre Dame. Now, Clemson's been hit by the COVID bug. The quarterback for Clemson will be out again this week. Of course, the backup quarterback there at Clemson was a 5-star, so they'll have that. But they really struggled against Boston College last week and had to really work hard to come from behind and win that game in the second half. What do you think about Clemson Notre Dame? Clemson is a 5.5 point favorite on the road at Notre Dame.
Well, you're right. They did have a tough time last week, but I look at it as wow, what heart they had. They could have easily given up, but I mean, they stayed in there and they fought. They are truly a good team. But in this case, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Notre Dame. I think they can pull it out.
Well, we're gonna go. We're gonna go head to head here because I love Clemson. It's my game of the week. I think just what you said. They really fought to be able to come back in that game. They faced adversity. Quarterback out, Heisman candidate, and got behind. The defense played their worst game of the year. They came back and took the lead in the second half, and then got a defensive stop to win the game. Now they go to Notre Dame. That line, let's say Trevor Lawrence doesn't have COVID. He's in that game. What is that line?
I think that he's worth at least a touchdown, ain't he? And at 13, 10, 12.
At least. That's right. At least. I'm saying that Clemson's defense is going to get their act together this week. They're going to be the Clemson defense we've seen every other game except for last week. And then for some reason they always struggle against Syracuse. They gave up some points to Syracuse too. I think the Clemson defense shuts them down, and I think Clemson wins by a touchdown or more. But another thing we can talk about here is there's lots of different ways to play these games, and a money line parlays off of Clemson I really like. So you find some games you like and match them up against the money line with Clemson in the parlay there on your Bet MGM app and go to town. But you think that Notre Dame can win the game outright, or you just like them with the points?
I like them to maybe win outright. Like you say, Clemson has given up a few points to last week into Syracuse, but I just think that maybe the defense ain't as good as previous years, and maybe that quarterback just had a great game last week. I just think Notre Dame at home. I know there's not going to be much of a crowd there, but I'm going to take Notre Dame at home to stay undefeated.
Okay, we're head to head. Big Daddy C versus your host, Jason Nall, for Nall or Nuthin. Big Daddy C likes Notre Dame, possibly to win outright. Definitely plus the 5.5. I like Clemson to cruise. All right, that is going to wrap up our second segment today of Nall or Nuthin. We appreciate you joining us, whether it be on 101.3 The Buzz in Cleveland, Tennessee, or on Nall or Nuthin YouTube channel. Hey, we're here to try to talk through these games, give you some ideas, let you take advantage of this new entertainment possibility in Tennessee, which is sports betting, legalized sports betting now in Tennessee. I talked earlier about the BetMGM app, DraftKings, and FanDuel. All you're able to load money onto the app and place your wagers. Certainly, you want to do your own research. There's nothing here that we're saying that you couldn't formulate your own opinion, whether it be the same or different. But we're just talking through these games, talking through some spots, who we like, who we don't like. But do your own research, make your own picks. Hey, you watch football, go get them this week. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nall or Nuthin on 101.3 The Buzz and on YouTube channel Nall or Nuthin. I'm your host, Jason Nall, and we are about to jump right into the National Football League. And man, did I give you a steamer last week. I love Minnesota, and that was the one that I was able to place my bet with DraftKings and cash out my winner. Very good game by the Minnesota Vikings. They ran the ball extremely well against Green Bay. Green Bay was in a tough spot. They'd been on the road 2 games in a row. They had just come off a big win at the Houston Texans, come back home to no crowd at Lambeau, and Minnesota's season was on the line at 1-4, and they just had to win that ball game, and they did. So, hey, if you're not going to pat your own back, nobody else will. And that was a heck of a pick I had on Minnesota last week.
And I do want to tell you that was a great pick you had, but I want my steak dinner because I was the one that talked you into the money line. You were telling me you liked them to win. I said, well, they got to be a big favorite. Why don't you take them on the money line and get it? And you did, and that was a great play, great pick.
It was definitely Big Daddy C talked me into the money line. There's no question about it. And that was a big deal because I took my wager with BetMGM. I think I said DraftKings, but I was actually my account's with BetMGM, and I went on the money line, which gave me over 2-1 odds. But that meant that Minnesota had to win outright in Lambeau Field. You ought to get over 2-1 odds, but we got that in, and we cashed it out. And yeah, man, maybe we'll go get us a steak dinner next time I'm over there in Memphis. How about Blue City Cafe? I love that New York strip down there.
Wherever you're paying, I'm eating.
All right, NFL starts on Thursday, just like Nall or Nuthin. The weekend starts on Thursday, and tonight we have the Packers, who we just talked about, limping out of Lambeau, out to the West Coast to play the San Francisco 49ers, who also lost at Seattle this past weekend. The 49ers have played better the last few weeks. It was a tough ask to go up to Seattle. They weren't able to come away with the win there. But now Green Bay favored 5.5 at San Francisco, over under 50. What do you got there for us, Big Daddy?
I hate playing the unders, but I think this is one you can take the under in. I just think that San Fran's defense is going to be there, and the Pack's coming off a tough one where they didn't score much against Minnesota. I just think maybe you got to try the under. I don't like unders, but I think this is one where the under might get you in the window to cash.
I won't argue that one. I don't really have a real opinion there, but let's ride the under. It's really hard to get under up these days in the NFL because defense is optional and it's discouraged by the referees. But I'll go with you. That's as good an idea as any with that game. Green Bay's played really poorly on the West Coast lately. They're maybe due a snapback game. They're aware of how badly they were beaten the last time they went to San Francisco. But I'll go with you. Under there, San Fran's defense is solid, and maybe they can slow Aaron Rodgers down. Kicking it over to Sunday, a 1 o'clock Eastern matchup is the Seattle Seahawks go up to the other corner of the country to play the Buffalo Bills. Probably my favorite game of the weekend, college or NFL. I tried to fade Seattle when they went to Miami a couple of weeks ago, and Miami just laid an egg. Seattle got a big lead and was able to hold on and win that game. Miami came back, but too little too late. I think the Bills, their scare was they had to somehow find a way to beat New England last week, and they did. It wasn't pretty, but they beat them. And I think I think the Bills are going to have some pressure off of them, play freely at home this week. They're getting points against a Seattle team that has zero defense. I like the Bills plus the 2.5. I think they're going to win outright at home. How you feel about that one, Philip?
Well, this is going to be another one, good versus evil, because I do think the Bills are a good team, and I do think the Bills are the best team in the East, but I don't think they're as good as Seattle. I think Seattle's going to pull this one out, and I think that Seattle, they cover the line. I'll take Seattle.
Okay, well, I talked earlier I mentioned teasers, and this is a great teaser game. I think if you take that 2.5 and take the 6 and take it up to the key numbers of 3, 7, and 8 for the Bills, get them plus 8.5 at home, and you are sitting on ready. So that is our steamer play from Nall or Nuthin. And our steamer plays are brought to you by Pure Bath, Body, and Mind. Finally, luxury for the shower. Pure Bath, Body, and Mind features a huge variety of handmade shower steamers. To clear your head, wake up alert, or wind down, just toss a shower steamer in the corner of your shower, then watch it fizz and bubble Amazing aroma will release from the shower steamer, and you can breathe in and enjoy. Pure is located at 4460 Keith Street, right next to Cleveland Nutrition and across from Walmart, and at pureisgood.com. Big Daddy, have you ever tried one of those shower steamers?
No, I haven't ever tried one of those. I don't have hair or a beard, so
You
I
don't need hair.
don't.
The steamer, look, it's a little square. It comes in. You take it out of the package. You throw it in the corner of your shower, and if you get, I like the menthol eucalyptus ones. Oh my goodness, it just rises up out of the shower and it turns your shower into a spa. You need to go to pureisgood.com. It'll change your life, man. You'll pop right out of that bed to get in that shower every morning.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to try one of those. The mint flavor, huh?
Now,
Menthol.
I like eucalyptus menthol. There's all different kinds, but I like the ones that really open your sinuses up and help you breathe, and they wake me up. And, I'm not really a morning person, so I need all the help I can get in the morning.
Wow. Well, I'm going to try one. So just throw it in the corner. The water hits it, activates it, and your shower's smelling like you.
Yeah, it's like your own home sauna, and it's a steam. It releases that steam and those scents, and it's just great. pureisgood.com. You can get all the shower steamers you can use. And that is our steamer play. Our steamer play, Buffalo Bills plus a 2.5. Right there on 1 o'clock Eastern at home against the Seattle Seahawks. All right, Philip, I'm going to give you the lay of the land in this one. Chicago Bears come to Tennessee Titans. The Titans struggled, scored late, but it was too late at Cincinnati last week, gave up a ton of points. The Bears could not get out of their own way and basically gifted the Saints a victory in Chicago. Two teams coming off a loss, two teams with winning records. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, being a resident here in Tennessee, the Titans are my team. I always pull for them. And the Bears with the quarterback move, benching Trubisky, I think that helped them. I like the guy they got now, but I think the Titans are going to pull this one out. I think the Titans are better than their two losses. I can't believe they really lost last week, but I think they're better than their two losses. I think they definitely got the best running back in the league, Henry, and I think they're going to pull this one out. I think they win. They just simply outscore the Bears. The Bears a lot of times just have trouble scoring, and they just outscore them. Tennessee wins.
I tend to agree with you. I like Tennessee there. The line has moved a bit in Tennessee's favor. Opened at 6. It's at 5.5 now. The lower that line gets, the better off it is. I think anything under a touchdown, I think Tennessee can score. It's just a question of whether that defense can stop Foles and that fairly putrid offense of the Bears. Now, Foles, he's great in relief, but is he good as a starter? That's always been the question with Foles. Won a Super Bowl in relief, but has stumbled as a starter. Next up at 1 o'clock, the Ravens, who don't seem to be ready for prime time. They run up and down the field and go crazy on a lot of teams, but when they get in those big matchups like the Chiefs earlier this year on Monday night, and then your Pittsburgh Steelers last weekend, they struggle to get those quality wins in the big matchups. So now the Ravens go on the road to the Colts, who won handily last week, and the Ravens are a 2.5-point favorite in Indianapolis. What do you think, Big Daddy?
This is going to be a really good game, I think. Both these teams are really good. The Ravens, sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get. Are you going to get that team that, puts up 30, 35 points, or are you going to get the team that puts up 14? It's really a tough one for me. I'm going to take the Colts, though. I'm going to take the Colts and 2 points.
I would agree. I think the Colts are probably the play at home. And which Ravens team we're going to get, we don't know. Here's a matchup for you in the NFC East. Powerhouse New York Giants against that Washington football team. What do you think about Washington and that new name, the football team?
I think it's awful. I mean, come on. What was wrong with the Redskins? I mean, it's crazy to me.
I like the fact that, hey, they didn't just come right back out and name them the Brown Bears or something. They said the Washington football team. If you're going to rename them, I like that name. Just something
Yeah, because
generic.
you would hate to get them confused with the Washington basketball team or the Washington baseball team. You just need to make it the Washington football team.
That's right. That's right. At any rate, they're not a very good football team. They had the Giants beat at home a couple of weeks ago, but for some reason, with the new age analytics everybody wants to use now, they went for two to win the game instead of taking it in overtime. 2 point conversion failed. Giants won 20-19 in New York. Now New York goes down to Washington. Washington's a 3 point favorite. New York played a really good game against Tampa on Monday night, covered the spread easily, had chances to win the game, couldn't get it handled. New York Giants or Washington football team?
I think you're right. I think the Giants. They did play a good game on Monday night, and I think that offense is getting better every week, and I like the Giants in this spot.
All right, I gave you my steamer earlier. Now I'm gonna give you my insider pick. I love this game. Los Angeles Raiders at excuse me, no longer Los Angeles Raiders, not even Oakland Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders go out to face the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers have blown leads of 16 or more points in 4 consecutive games. Never happened before in the NFL. Never. So they've blown huge leads 4 games in a row. They've got talent, but they just can't close the deal. The Chargers being the Chargers, I guess. So the Chargers are a 1.5 point favorite at home. I think this is an absolute must-win for the Chargers, coming off of 4 blown leads in a row. And then the Raiders come back from winning a good game, physical game on the road last week in Cleveland. Second game in a row on the road for the Raiders. Now they go back to the West Coast. I like the Chargers here. I think they get it handled at home. Chargers for the win. Chargers for the 1.5 point cover. What do you think about that one?
Well, you didn't tell us what the over and under is. Do you have it on that game?
I sure do. The over/under on that game is 53.
Well, this would be one where I play my over. The Raiders are coming off that poor offensive performance last week, and we know the Chargers at times can put them up. I think this one is a shootout, and you take the over.
Okay, I can go with that. I do think it might be a shootout. So my pick is the Chargers at home to win the game and cover the 1.5 spread. You like the over 53. Sounds like a parlay made in heaven to me. Right there for your afternoon viewing pleasure. 4:25 Eastern. This game, certainly we expected it to be a little bit different than what it is. You've got the Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Dallas Cowboys. And Dallas' season has absolutely spiraled out of control. They're a bad football team with a third-string quarterback in a defense that is probably the worst in the league. No Dak, no defense. Dallas getting 13.5 points at home to the Steelers. Any chance Dallas can keep this competitive?
I don't think so. I think you could give Dallas 20 points and they're still not going to cover. Pittsburgh is a primo team in the league. They're definitely one of the best. Ben's playing like the old Ben from 3 or 4 years ago. He's on fire. Pittsburgh's defense is strong. You take Pittsburgh here, they're going to cover the 13 probably in the first quarter.
Well, I won't argue with you there. Dallas can't stop anybody. Pittsburgh should score at will. Who knows if Dallas's offense can get on track with the third-string quarterback and some injuries, some key injuries on the offensive line. But here's what disappoints me. What a bad spot. Pittsburgh, I would love to fade Pittsburgh coming off that big win on the road at Baltimore. Divisional win, huge win, but it's Dallas. Even though Dallas is terrible, Pittsburgh knows what it means. Knows it's time to get up and play again if you're playing Dallas. And I think that Pittsburgh will certainly win the game, and I would say double digits, so that would keep me from being able to bet Dallas. But I really wanted to fade Pittsburgh in this spot. It's just not the right team they're playing. This is a pass for me, but I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to take Pittsburgh. Over under is 41.5. To me, that is crazy. With Dallas' defense, Pittsburgh might score 41 and a half. Are they thinking Dallas just can't score?
Yeah, they're thinking Dallas just won't score. They're looking at Dallas maybe to make a field goal or two. But wow, that is low. But
I mean, it's
Dallas is
really
just
low.
trouble.
It's the
Yeah.
lowest I've seen in the NFL this year, and I know Pittsburgh has a good defense, but Dallas has a terrible defense. So I don't know. I don't know. I may stick a toe in the water on the over there just to have something to watch, but I would do it with my holding my nose. That's for sure. Um, Sunday night, we get a better game this Sunday night. Last Sunday night was rough. It was who was it last Sunday night? Dallas and Philadelphia. Philadelphia and Dallas last Sunday night.
Yep.
It wasn't very competitive. This Sunday night, which is my favorite game of the week, because you kind of relax. That Sunday night game, it's the only one on. It's a good game. It gets a lot of handle. There's a lot of pro action, a lot of public action, and those Sunday night games. Usually a lot of line movement. But this Sunday night, we've got the New Orleans Saints for their second consecutive game on the road, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who we know struggled through Monday night but got the win against the Giants. The Buccaneers opened the season in Week 1 at the Saints. Saints won and covered. This time, Buccaneers, led by the ageless Tom Brady, are a 5.5-point favorite over the Saints with the aging Drew Brees. Drew Brees has taken a lot of heat this year for lack of arm strength. Brady seems like he's gotten new life down in Tampa Bay. 5.5. What do you think? Who wins this matchup?
Well, you're right. Drew Brees just isn't the Drew Brees of the last few years. Just when it comes to that 3rd and 4, he's just not automatic like years past. He's just not the same guy. And Tom Brady, he is the same guy as years past. When it's 3rd and 10, he gets it. He's the same guy. They did struggle against the Giants, but I think you take Tampa Bay here. It's their turn to win. Saints won the first one. It's Tampa Bay's turn to win. I think Tampa Bay wins in another shootout. I want Tampa Bay minus the points and the over.
Well, I'm not gonna disagree with you. I also like Tampa Bay, but this is where I'm gonna get back on my teaser train and tease Tampa Bay down to where they just have to win that game at home. Take the 6 points off that spread. I'll have Tampa Bay plus a half. So if they go to overtime, overtimes are so fast now, you're going to get a lot of ties. If they go to overtime, we're safe with that half a point, but I've got it teased down now to where Tampa only has to win at home. I'm going to pair that up with the Buffalo Bills plus 8.5 at home. That's my pure bath, body, and mind steamer of the week. And that's going to be my bookend teaser. I'll get that first half in the morning and kick back and watch that second half come in when Tom Brady rolls over Drew Brees and the Saints this week. One more game to discuss. Monday Night Football. New England Patriots at the woeful 0-8. 0-8 against the spread New York Jets. The Jets are catching 7 at home. The over-under is 42.5. What do you think about these Jets just in the season Jets?
Well, they got to be one of the worst teams in the league. There's no question about that. I don't like the Jets at all, but the Pats just aren't what they used to be. But if you just put a gun to my head and I have to take a side, I'm going to take the Pats minus the 7.
Well, I, on the other hand, am a glutton for punishment, and I'm going to say that Johnny Mac Johnson, due factor, steps in. The Jets are due to cover a game. The Patriots gave all in Buffalo, but they've pretty much realized their season is over. They're not going to win the East this year, AFC East, and they're not going to make the playoffs. So I think you get a flat effort, and just the name of the Patriots and the fact that the Jets are on Monday Night Football, I think you're going to get a level effort from them, and they're going to give it an honest try. So I'll take the 7 points and the Jets, as dangerous as it is, on Monday night.
Well, that's another good versus evil.
Yeah, another good versus evil. And you and Cam against me and the nameless, faceless Jets.
Do we have time for me to squeeze in my lock of the week for the crowd?
Well, good Lord, yes, that's what we brought you here for.
Okay. This is the best one-win team in the NFL. The Texans. The Texans are going to beat the Jags this week and cover the spread. That's my lock of the week. Take your paycheck, put it on them, buy you a new jacket. Winter's coming. Take
So
the
Big
Texans.
Daddy C has given me and given you a gift, just an absolute gift here with the the Houston Texans
Yes.
at home against. No, I'm sorry. Houston Texans
they're on the
road at Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston Texans laying 6.5. Get it right now because it looks like that number's about to bounce to 7. Houston laying 6.5, so under a touchdown on the road at Jacksonville, and you think it's going to be a massacre?
I like them here. I think they are the best team with one win in the league. I think they are way better than their record. Their first 4 games, they've played some of the strongest teams in the NFL. It's their turn. It wouldn't surprise me if they get on a 3, 4, 5-game win streak. They're way better than their record right here, and they're going to cover this spread easily.
That's another appetizing teaser number too for those of us who like to tease. You could tease that game down to where they just had to win the game, but Big Daddy C says don't worry about a teaser. Push the chips in, lay the 6.5, and take it to the bank with the Houston Texans. That's our lock of the week by Big Daddy. Big Daddy, we appreciate you joining us today. It's been an enjoyable hour talking football. It's exciting that we now have legalized sports betting in Tennessee. Since last Sunday, November 1, it all kicked off. And looking forward to the weekend's action. And you come back and see us anytime.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, and good luck this weekend.
All righty, I appreciate that. We need all the luck we can get as always. So that's going to wrap up Nall or Nuthin, brought to you by the Cleveland Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, broadcast live on 101.3 The Buzz every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. And you can also catch the replay of the show on YouTube, Nall or Nuthin channel. I'm Jason Nall. I've had the pleasure of being with you for this last hour. Best of luck. Go get your deposits made on your app, and get ready to win some money this weekend. It's Nall or Nuthin.
'Cause he had high hopes, he had high